Antimatter is known in Cosmic Encounter as one of the math-based powers, but don't worry, you won't need a math degree to win with this alien, and we'll show you how here today on Legendary Tactics. Spewed forth from a white hole, the worlds of the antimatter careen through space, negating whatever they encounter. Opposed to the very existence of gross matter, antimatter is dedicated to reducing all opposition to less than nothing. Antimatter has the power of negation. When antimatter is a main player after both of the attack cards are revealed, antimatter must use this power to make the lower total win. When this power is used, antimatter ships and all offensive and defensive ally ships are subtracted from the appropriate side's total. The opponent's total ships, however, are calculated normally. Antimatter is best in the early game when both sides have a lot of ships and encounters. Because of the way the encounter is calculated, if antimatter is up against most aliens, putting 4 ships in the cone against 4 enemy ships on a planet results in a difference of 8 before the encounter even starts. So, it doesn't hurt to try for a quick victory while you still have a lot of ships handy. Interestingly, antimatter does its best work against the powerhouse aliens in the game. For example, it's very hard for Crystal, Macron, or Virus to get a low enough total to beat you, and as Warpish and Warrior grow in power as the game progresses, they become easier and easier for antimatter to defeat. Just beware of the 0-0 attack card, especially when up against Virus or Tripler, as it will give them a decent shot at beating you. So keep your lowest cards for later in the game, as well as the Morph card, which tends to work quite well for you, as you usually begin each counter already in the lead. Fortunately, low-strength attack cards are more plentiful, meaning you will usually have a decent card or two in hand for each encounter. But antimatter does need an advantage in ships, and as ships end up in the warp, or as colonies on other planets, the power of antimatter diminishes. Beware of Cudgel and Guerrilla, which cause you to lose an above-average number of ships. And also, stay away from Void if you can, as the loss of ships will be permanent. The other thing to be careful of is inviting allies too often. While it is likely necessary that you need an ally's commitment to an encounter to ensure your win, always remember that it allows other players to get a benefit in outside of their turn, be it a colony or cards. And in a lot of situations, the opponent of antimatter will be mathematically certain of losing the encounter and will therefore likely play a negotiate card to get compensation. So what can you do against antimatter if you are unfortunate enough to be its opponent? The one nice thing about antimatter is that it gives every other alien's lowest attack card some value, so there is no bad compensation. Low cards received this way can be saved for when going up against antimatter. High cards received as compensation can, of course, simply be utilized against other opponents as usual. See if you can rally some allies to help you against antimatter if you can't get an advantage otherwise. Convincing some other players around the table of the threat that antimatter poses will go a long way to hitting antimatter where it hurts, by sending antimatter ships to the warp. I hope this little guide helped you to understand antimatter a little bit better and gave you the opportunity to improve your play. If it helped you, please consider leaving a like or comment below, please consider subscribing, or even becoming a member. Thanks for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.